Hey guys, welcome. In this video, we're going to test a ship weapon, the Lightstrike Cannon in Star Citizen Alpha 4.7.1. The reason I want to test this weapon is that because of the new armor damage deflection feature for both physical and energy. So a lot of the ship weapons, especially smaller sizes of the laser repeaters, are not effective against many ships, especially medium to large and super large ships, because of their low alpha damage, which I made a detailed video explaining how alpha damage affect the weapon effectiveness. However, for the laser cannons, even though they have higher alpha damage than the laser repeaters, but their capacitor is much lower, and especially the projectile speed is much slower. However, this is not the case for the Lightstrike, which is also a laser cannon with lower capacitor, but decent projectile speed, especially for size 1 to size 3. Now, let's look at some of the numbers of this weapon, do some detailed analysis, a comparison, and then test them out in combat to see how effective they can be. First of all, this is how the Lightstrike Cannon looks like. The manufacturer is Asperia. It looks very much like the Deadbolts, but Deadbolts are the Ballistic Cannons. The Lightstrike are the laser cannons. Same as the Deadbolts, we can purchase these weapons in-game from size 1 all the way to size 6. However, we don't have any ship that can utilize any of the size 6 weapons. So the Lightstrike, you can purchase from size 1 to size 5 and put on any of your hardpoints. And all these sizes, they look almost exactly the same. It's just the size difference. And if you want to find out exactly where to purchase this weapon, just use this website, finder.cstone.space. Under here, just simply type Lightstrike. You will see from size 1 all the way to size 6. So choose which size you want, and then it will tell you exactly where you can purchase them, as well as the price. So Lightstrike Cannon size 1 all the way to size 5. We're gonna ignore the size 6. Let's talk about the disadvantage of this weapon first. Compare with another laser cannon, which is Omniski. Before patch 4.7, when we choose weapon, we often look at the burst damage, sometimes sustained damage. The burst DPS of the Lightstrike is a lot lower than the Omniski. So for the size 1, Lightstrike is 205, Omniski is 243, let alone the sustained DPS. The Lightstrike is only 82, but the Omniski is over 135, and this is a 60 seconds of sustained damage. And that is because the alpha damage, Omniski size 1 compared with Lightstrike Cannon size 1, the alpha damage, Omniski 97, Lightstrike is only 49. And that's about half of the alpha damage of the Omniski. And for the size 2 is the same, Omniski 145, Lightstrike 74. However, if we compare with the laser repeaters, that will be a different story, because the higher the alpha damage, the more effective, the more ships that you can use this weapon. So for the size 1 Bulldog repeater, alpha damage is only 17.5. And if you want to know what ship can this weapon do, now here is a really good chart. This is the armor damage deflection threshold. So your alpha damage has to be higher than this threshold. And we're talking about only the laser threshold. So we're gonna delete the physical and then we're gonna reorganize it. So this is the laser threshold for every single armor, for every single ship. For the size 1 Bulldog repeater, 17.5. Wow, you really don't have a lot of options. So the only ship you can attack is Saber, Saber Comet, Firebird, all these small ships, Golem, Vulture, Horny Mark 1. Oh, actually, a lot of the Mark 2s. Reliant, Fortune, Asperia Talon, and Talon Strike. Avengers, Eclipse, Gladius also belongs to that. So all these light fighters or smaller ships, Nomad, Mustangs, all the Auroras, including the Aurora Mark II, Drake Cutter, Clipper, Scout, and also 2122 Wolf. Origin 100 series, 300 series, 85X, Arrow, Pisces, all the Furies, Razor, and most of the hover bikes and ground vehicles, even the Ballista as well. However, above 18 threshold, like Meteor, Mantis, Hall A, Prospector, Shift, Catalysis, Lightning, Valkyrie, all this, size 1 will not be able to attack. But if you're using the size 1 Lightstrike Cannon, the alpha damage is 49. Actually, it's 49.3. That 0.3 makes a difference because that 0.3 will allow you to attack Valkyrie, Paladin, and Asgard because that threshold is just a little bit higher than 49. But above that, you cannot, like the 400i, Stinger, and all the other ships. And that's only for size 1 weapon. The most common ship weapon will be the size 3, which is the weapon we're going to be testing. Size 3 Panzer Repeater. The alpha damage is 43.7, but the size 3 Lightstrike Cannon alpha damage is 110. So 43.7, oh, that is lower than 45. So this is the threshold here. You can attack anything, the ship, Hall A, anything below 45, but you cannot attack the 45. Wow, you can't even attack a Cutlass. That's a little surprising. You can't even attack a Hurricane as well. For example, a Gladius versus a Hurricane. The Gladius can't even do any damage to the Hurricane in terms of the armor and hull. But if you're using the Lightstrike 3 cannon, the alpha damage is 110. Let's take a look. 110. Oh wow, 100. Oh, that's it. Only the Idris M and Idris P you cannot damage. All the other ships you can attack and damage. And for Lightstrike 4 cannon is 166, which means you can attack any ship in game, including the Lightstrike cannon size 5. Size 5, size 4 is also pretty common for some big ships, especially the Guardian MX, size 4 I think. And now there is another factor which is very important we need to compare is the ammo speed or projectile speed. And that has always been a big advantage for the laser repeaters. So these are the ship weapons. We got some right here. This is for the Atlas. This is point defense cannon. We're not gonna look at those. So for the ship weapons, size 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you can see the laser repeater bullet speed is 1800 meters per second. That's pretty fast, which means it's easier to hit your target. It takes less time for your bullet from your barrel to the enemy target before they move away from that location. However, for the Omni-Ski, the bullet speed is slower, 1400. For the higher weapons is 1344 and 1288. The slower the speed, the harder it is for you to hit a target, especially fast-moving targets. But this will be the advantage for the Lightstrike Cannons because for the size 1, 2, and 3, the bullet speed is 1800. Even for the size 4, it's not too slow, 1728. The size 5, 1656. Not too bad. But if you just use the size 3 Lightstrike Cannon, you will have the same bullet speed as a laser repeater, which will give you the advantage of hitting your target more consistently. However, as we said earlier, the laser cannons will have a lower capacitor. The Lightstrike Cannon only 25, the maximum, especially for the ships that does not have a capacitor increase. However, for many of the ships, you do have the capacitor increase, like the Hammerhead, Redeemer, Fighters, as long as you have a turret. For example, the Hurricane, Scorpius. So if you equipped the Lightstrike Cannons on those ships, you will still have a capacitor advantage. But if you equip the Lightstrike on the Gladius, which you only got 25. So if you don't have the capacitor increase for your ship, when you go to combat, you do have to manage it more strategically. Now, next question you will ask, then what about the attrition repeaters? Because the attritions also has a pretty good alpha damage. Look at this. The size 1 attrition repeater has an even higher alpha damage than the Lightstrike 1 cannon. It's a 66 compared with 49. But when you look at the ammo speed of the attrition 1 or all the attritions for the ships, the speed is only 1,000 meters per second, which is even slower than the Omni-Ski laser cannons. So in a lot of the combat situations, the attrition is not really a good weapon. But still, a lot of players love these guns. I also love these guns. But against AIs, probably if you manage well, it's more effective. But against players, especially skillful players, I don't think it's that effective. However, if I know that I am going up against a player Idris, the attrition will be effective because enemy ship is slow moving when you get close. Besides, it's a laser repeater, so you will have a lot of capacitor. So that case, definitely the attrition is very useful. The first ship we're going to test is the Aurora SE. This is the Mark 1 Aurora, and this ship has only 4 size 1 hardpoints. So I equipped them with these Lightstrike 1 laser cannons. Now in combat, the weapon alone is not the only concern. You must also consider about the power management. So I put a competition B radar, which requires the minimum amount of pips, but of course with a little bit lower aim assist distance. Now the enemy has spotted me. Let me quickly adjust power. I need to give full weapon pips. And now let's go attack these ships. Check it out. This is a Razor. And you can see the charging speed for the laser cannon is slower than the laser repeater. Enemy down. However, if you give full power to weapon, it can charge faster. Another one down. But of course, against these Razors, the size 1 Bulldog repeater is more than enough. My effective range is about 1 kilometer with this radar. Oh, somehow my power management just went back. It adjusted itself. That's not good. It's not saved. Oh, I lost target lock. 1.3 kilometers. Enemy down. Nice. Got a Freelancer attacking. This is a Freelancer MIS. Precision mode, I can target this turret. I took his shield down. However, I don't think for this weapon I have higher threshold. You can see when I hit the hull of the Freelancer, it's not taking any damage. No hit marker at all. But I think I can hit the turret. Yeah, when you hit the turret, you see the hit marker. But when you hit the hull of the ship, we don't have the hit marker. But I do have some missiles. Ignite. Target acquired. Fire. Okay, missile hit. And that's it. Auto missiles, just 4. And his shield is recovered. His turret is working. So this is not my fight. Gonna have to withdraw from this. Now, by looking at the Freelancer MIS, energy damage threshold is 67. And for the Lightstrike 1 is 49.25. So this is beyond my league. However, for the size 2 Lightstrike, which has alpha damage of 74.3, it is a little bit above 67. So Lightstrike 2 will be effective against this enemy Freelancer MIS. Let's test it out. So right now I am using the Aurora Mark II, which has 4 size 2 hardpoints. And I equipped them with the size 2 Lightstrike Cannons. Ooh, I just realized for this ship, even though I give full power to weapon, but I have only 21 rounds for full capacitor. Okay, fire. Using stagger mode. And that's a whole capacitor. And his shield is down. And now, when I hit the hull of the ship, you can see both the hit marker as well as the damage effect on the ship. So this weapon can go through the armor of the Freelancer MS. Sub-targeting this engine. One engine down, it's gonna spin. Now, just setting duck. Oh, this is actually not good for me. Alright, enemy down. If I have equipped this ship with Badger Repeater, which the alpha damage is 26.2, I will not be able to destroy this ship. However, if I equip this ship with size 2 Omniski, it probably can do a better job because of its higher alpha damage. The next ship we're gonna test is the Scorpius, and this is the Scorpius Antares. And on this ship, we have 4 size 3 hardpoints. So I equipped 4 size 3 Lightstrike Cannons. And even though the Scorpius Antares does not have a gun turret, but it does inherit the higher capacitor from the Scorpius. You can see when I give full power to weapon, I have 63 rounds, more than doubled the other ships. And I can fire for quite a long time. Next target, 600i, which has a energy damage threshold of 72. So with these weapons, I am able to attack its armor and hull, but with size 3 laser repeaters, I will not be able to. Now, let's strip its shield. Okay, its rear shield is down. And now I'm able to put some bullet holes on the armor and the hull. I'm gonna tap a bullet or two just to keep its shields down while my guns are charging. Okay, 3 weapons fully charged. Fire.
Shields damaged.
Ooh, the bottom turret. Attacking the nose of the 600i.
Shields damaged.
With the low DPS of this gun, it does take a while to destroy even the 600i. So I spent quite a while now. Just give it a little bit of a red hull. But I think I'm making it through. So I think for these bigger ships, you probably can equip the Omniski or the M cannons, which will give you double the alpha damage. But of course, if the enemy ship is smaller, definitely the Lightstrike Cannon will have its advantage. Finally, mission accomplished. Okay, the last test will be the size 4 Lightstrike Cannons, which I put on the Polaris. And the alpha damage for this one is 166. So with this weapon equipped, you don't have to worry about anything regarding the damage deflection threshold. And this will be especially effective against light fighters if they are flying around the Polaris. Okay, PDC is working for the missiles. Oh, some distortions. There's an arrow. 2 arrows flying around. Okay, my highest capacitor is 66 rounds. I put an industrial radar for this ship, which requires the least amount of pips. Alright, attacking the arrow. Oh, that's pretty effective. The arrow shield is down. This is a Hornet. Out of angle. I need some angle for this arrow here. Okay, pretty good. At 1.5 kilometers, I'm hitting this arrow. 1.7.
Shields damaged.
There's one on top. So Hornet, I'm hitting it at 1.6 with this weapon. Out of capacitor. My PDC is keeping the enemy fighter shields down, but it cannot do any hull damage. The PDC's alpha damage is 10. Okay, Hornet is down. Very nice. Very effective. Arrow is down. Yes, this gun is really good against light fighters. I think this is it. Just the hammerhead left.
Shields damaged.
Oh, it's taking down the hammerhead shield pretty quickly. This is a bit difficult to shoot at bigger ships because the recharging speed is quite slow for this gun. And if I don't hit the target consistently, it's gonna recharge the shield. But if I have full crew on the ship, that will be a different story. I can take out that hammerhead pretty quickly, even with this gun. But right now, it's just it's keep charging its shield. Now, I'm gonna use a size 6 on the Polaris. Fire. Oh, good hits. Oh, nice. Hammerhead is down. So this is it for the Lightstrike Cannon test, and in this video we figured out the advantages and disadvantages of this weapon. The biggest advantage is the alpha damage compared with the laser repeaters, but that's also a disadvantage compared with other laser cannons. But the bullet speed is really fast, especially for size 1 to size 3. Exactly same as the laser repeaters. So that is why the biggest advantage for this gun is to attack small and nimble fighters, especially you put them on your capital ship. But that's not good for all situations because of its low alpha damage. So I probably will modify my loadout for the Polaris. Alright guys, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.